Hey everybody, how's it going? Gonna shed a little light on the situation. Um, alright, it is July 7th, 2024. I have not made any video for YouTube since April 22nd of 2024. Um, I'm still in Florida, like I said I would be for at least a while. And I'm going to give an update and also ask a question. The update is, well, I'm still here. And the opportunity that had arose, that has passed by, and I didn't get the job. I didn't even get an interview for the job. Um, I put in for another one towards the end of May, interviewed for it, absolutely bombed it. And honestly, if they think they are going to get somebody experienced for what they are willing to pay, they got another thing coming. That particular position was for a floor technician. I have no experience, but for what they're paying, you're lucky if you're going to get an application of anybody, really. So, I didn't get that. I was interviewed for that on my sister's birthday, which was May 31st. That's why I remember it. And, here we are in July now. Never heard anything about it. So, I expect that I don't have it. Which is fine because I'm getting burnt out. Um, when you feel like you're putting so much work in for so little in return, you just end up getting burnt out. But anyway, that's my update. Uh, well, alright, this transitions. Um, I have decided, based on a lot of really weird shit that's gone on lately with my living situation, that I really want out. And in looking in this area for roommates, um, everybody just wants way too much money. Like, it's just way more than I can afford. Obviously, yes, I have an income problem. Um, just by having a car, with what my income is, and what things cost in Florida, just by having a single car, I am living beyond my means. That's just for basic maintenance. That's not, and maintenance, insurance, fuel. That is not for repairs. That's how fucked up it is to be down here. So, and I've got two. What I'm spending every month for my rent, my portion of the rent that I agreed to for here is $550. Now, that's technically a little more than half of the rent, but it's only over half by like $20, which I don't really understand why he did that, but whatever. That, fine, I'm okay with that. What I'm not too crazy about is I go out on July 4th, I come back a few hours later, and there's a bunch of another person's shit in the living room. Now, we only have 2 bedrooms. So I don't know where the hell he's sleeping, but whatever. Anyway, I've decided, after looking at what's available in the area and drawing on this experience as well as the experience of living with my cousin as a roommate, that I'd much rather just live in this truck and do the van life thing. But I'm not gonna do it all glamorous like and romantic like they make it, because I'm not making my bed every day. I'm not putting away a fucking stove every day. No, 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 no. I've got some other ideas that I'm working on. But the biggest thing that I need to ask everybody, if I decide to go this route, which I'm really leaning towards going this route, only because right now I have health insurance. I've got a couple health problems that I'm concerned about, so I might as well stay here and stay in the area and keep my job while I get these issues resolved, which I haven't started doing yet because I'm still working on this freaking class that I have to have done by the 28th of this month, or I have to pay for an extension, and I'll be damned if I'm going to pay an extension, because the extension costs about 40% of what the original cost for the class was anyway, and I'm just tired of working on it. I'm tired of having it over my head. I just busted ass on it for hours and hours today. My hand is swollen a little bit from how much handwriting I've done. That's how much I've worked on it. I just want it done. I just want it over with. I'm losing interest in it now. I'm frustrated with it. I just want it done, over with, done. Wipe my hands of it. Then I can concentrate on other stuff. I've got a bunch of CDs I gotta sell. I've got some stereo equipment I've got to sell. I've got cleaning I need to do. Once I get the ball rolling with all that little stuff, it's going to make it easier to get ready and start figuring out how to live in the vehicle. Now, yeah, we're in summer right now. It's hot. It's disgusting. And it's only going to get worse until September. I'm hoping that it'll be a motivator for me to do something different once I'm living in a vehicle. Perhaps work more. Or, work more, earn more money. I'd like to save up $3,000 and then think about making some different decisions, whether that be moving back home to New Hampshire, or trying to move somewhere else in the state, trying to move to another state, just something, because I can't take this shit anymore. I am tired of it. I go to work every day. I leave there dead on my feet just for a measly $15.37 an hour. Come on, that's bullshit. And we get disrespected. I am tired. I am absolutely 100% tired. And I need to do something different. So, while my rent is very, very cheap for here, I had to recently change where I store my other vehicle, and that cost went up $15, which $15 isn't much, but when you're only making 15 and change an hour, it's another hour of your life that, is being sucked into a payment of some sort. And I've got my storage unit back home. That brings my total rent to, with here, the storage unit and the storage spot, that brings all of my rent to $715 a month, if I remember correctly, which, again, that's not terrible, but number one, I don't like having my stuff in 3 different places. Number two, that's a lot of money when that's more than 30% of your income. So, yeah, I could get rid of one vehicle, but all I can afford is stuff that's old and it's always going to need some work. And like my Ranger's gotten into some pretty bad shape because I didn't have a second vehicle to be able to switch them out, cut the wear in half, and get it properly preventatively maintained like I like to do. And this thing, it's a bit of the same story. I'm just driving both. I'm not maintaining either one properly, and it shows. So it's very frustrating. But if I could eliminate this shit pit $550 a month payment and reallocate the funds into some self-care, such as I signed up for going to a chiropractor. That's an $80 a month payment, but the relief has been amazing. I can turn my head all the way to my shoulder, which I couldn't do before. In fact, I got more restriction on this side now than I do on this side. Whereas this used to be the good side, and I could only go like this far on turning to the left. So that's making a difference. My sciatic nerve pain is gone on one side, which is really nice that that's gone. I still got it on the other side, but that's something that's going to be getting worked out. I got to go for glasses. I haven't gone to an eye doctor since 2015, I think. So almost 9 years. I got to change that. I got to get new glasses. I can't see shit. Like, I got to choose to start taking care of myself better health-wise instead of throwing a bunch of money into... Honestly, this place is a dump. And, if I'm uncomfortable being in the heat on the weekends in my vehicle, well, I may have some options. I may be able to go to my friend's house and stay in the camper that I used to live in for the weekend. Or I could get a second job, get a third job, do something where I get out of being in this space and being in air conditioning. Ideally, what I would like to do is I need to get a couple tires for the Ranger. I need to get it running a little bit better, and I'd like to DoorDash with that. And then while I have this set up to live in, I should also have enough room, if I do everything right, to where I can do Instacart with this. And that's actually not terribly impractical with this because there's so much room in here. So there's a lot of things to figure out, but I'm working on the food because I don't want to have a stove because I don't have a way to wash pots and pans. I don't have a way to store anything that needs to be refrigerated or kept from extreme heat. So I've got a special cookbook coming in the mail that I ordered. And that should theoretically answer that problem. The thing that I would need to figure out next is where can I stay? I expect to have to move every night. I could join a gym for showers, and with that I can exercise too, which I can afford to do. That'll be like $50 a month, I think, but that's worth it. So the shower's figured out. The food I'm working on figuring out. The biggest thing now is going to be places to stay for either free or cheap. Preferably free. It's my understanding that, like, I could stay at a couple truck stops, which there are a couple truck stops in this area that are a reasonable distance from my work. So I could do that. However, it's also my understanding that in the state of Florida, you're only allowed to stay at those for 3 hours at a time. So, sleeping for 3 hours, waking up and going to another truck stop, that's really not ideal, because there are times where, like, I've slept for an hour, then tried to drive. I can only make it 15 minutes and I have to pull over anyway. So that's not too practical of an option. But somewhere that's safe, where I'm not going to necessarily be targeted, somewhere it's preferably free. I mean, I got a couple ideas, but I need to know what the van people do, because there's no way. I mean, I already know, and people are starting to say it now, that the van life isn't actually any cheaper than living in an apartment, because you get the van payment, which is exorbitant. The amount of money you have to invest up front in the damn thing to outfit it custom or to purchase it. Expensive insurance. And then really not everybody is going to be able to work remotely and live that lifestyle. I can't work remotely. I don't have a remote job, and I don't, as far as I know, have the skill set for a remote job. Once this course is done and I've got more things under control, some kind of training for a remote job of some sort is something that I would consider looking into. But until then, I gotta just deal with the hand I'm dealt and try to figure things out. I'm absolutely going nuts here. I'm not happy. And as much as I miss my friends, I really don't want to go home, because home to me is just doom and gloom and hopelessness. You know, I'm not kidding when I say I felt absolutely hopeless when I was a teenager and not getting my license. And then the amount of time I spent not having a job after high school, which I was 19, almost 20 when I got my first job, because nobody would hire me. I was also limited because I didn't have a car to only 20 miles from home. So the overwhelming amount of freedom, that sense that I could do, that I had some control over my life, that's one of many things that Crown Vic represents to me, which is why I'm so hell-bent on not getting rid of it. But anyway, I'm getting off onto other tangents. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. Let me know what you know about places to stay if you do the van life, because I'm really thinking about it. I just need to do my research, and like I haven't had time really to sit down and actually try to do research. But what better crowd to ask than those that are actually doing it? For context, um, for context, what I'm looking for is something within the Tampa Bay area, a place within the Tampa Bay area that's within a 30-minute commute to North Tampa. All right, thanks for watching. I'll appreciate your comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.